how's it going? This is just a tiny little short video. This week was working on mantra, and I also worked on integrating the 5 Tibetan Rites, which is a little series of movement exercises, into my full hour practice with you guys on my website. So I thought I would do a little separate, which is a Tibetan mantra, Tibetan Buddhist mantra, and the 5 Tibetan Rites together. So I just thought it made sense to me. So we're only going to do 3 repetitions of the 5 Tibetan Rites, just to keep this video a reasonable length, and so I don't blather on too long. But you can start to build them up basically. They're quite hard. So the first one is a standing exercise. Now, just briefly, this particular mantra is all about gratitude, compassion, letting go of ego, so sort of dissolving our attachments and our ego, so that we can come to a place of kindness, compassion, gratitude, which generally just makes us feel happier as human beings and helps us to connect with each other. So this is a wonderful mantra to either listen to practice yourself silently or singing out loud, whatever you want to do, however you want to do it. It's a brilliant way to focus the mind. So that's the mantra. Let's start with, so this is called spinning, the first Tibetan rite. Take the arms out to the sides, and then we're going to start to spin. So we take the arms and the whole body starts to move, and we'll just do 3 repetitions. So 1 full circle, 2 full, just make sure you haven't got any breakables next to you. 2 full circles, 3 full circles, and of course you can carry on. And then when you stop, you take your hands on your hips, and then you just kind of either close the eyes or bring the gaze to the floor nice and softly, and that will allow you to regain your balance. So as soon as you stop being dizzy, then you'll find that this is kind of centering. It's quite a grounding exercise, and it's for the benefit of your balance and for feeling grounded. So if you're feeling a little bit all over the place when you get up in the morning or before you go to bed, this will help you to ground. So I like to, even though this isn't in chronological order of the Tibetan rites, I quite like to do it in this order because I feel like it kind of helps me to warm the body and feels a little more flowing. So let's come from here, and we're going to go into forward bend. So you can just hinge from the hips, bend the knees, roll down, forward bend, and we'll step back into downward facing dog. So this is called the 2 dogs, and this is actually the 5th rite. So we'll spread out the fingers, and we're going to basically go between up dog and down dog. And again, I'm only going to do 3 rounds for the purpose of this video. So spread out the fingers. When you're doing down dog, you want to keep a little bend in the knees so that you can straighten the back out, most important. And then as you roll forward into plank, keep the toes curled under. I like to shuffle my feet back a bit. Then you can come up into up dog. So this is a squeeze the shoulder blades together, engage the legs, inhaling, and then exhale, roll back to down dog. Maybe walk the feet very slightly closer. Let's do 2 more. So I'm going to roll forward. So what we're doing is stretching the front of the body out as we breathe in. And then as we breathe out, stretching out the back of the body. Let's do 1 more. So this is strengthening the arms as well. So it's really good for creating strength. It's basically said that the 5 Tibetan rites are going to help us with longevity, long life, flexibility, strength, getting the energy moving in the body. Let's come down to the knees now. This next little exercise is called arching. And this particular one is the 3rd. So again, I'm not doing it in chronological order. You can, of course, but it's a bit like doing camel, but there's a kind of in and out, just like with the other exercises, where we inhale and exhale. So we'll take the hands just below the tushy muscles onto the hamstrings, and keep the toes curled under. It's quite good for stretching your feet. On the inhale, you're going to open the chest and just focus on grounding through the knees, opening the chest, engaging the hamstrings where your hands are. And you can either keep the chin tucked or let the head relax back. And then as you exhale, you slide up and the head moves last, tucking the chin. Inhale, open the heart, open the stomach. Head moves last. Exhale, just watch your neck when you're doing this. Felt like Alan Partridge then with my voice. Tuck the chin. Let's do one more. Inhaling, so you slide down, open up. You don't need to do a big back bend here. And then use the ground, head lifts last, tuck the chin. Come down onto the top of the feet and just take a moment to reset. Nice long spine. So that's really good for strengthening your back and also bringing flexibility to the back and the neck. And then let's come over onto one side, sweep the feet forward for the last two. So this is called the J, and this is the second right. So this is like doing a crunch basically, and I'm going to show you some variations. So you start off in Shavasana, or with the legs straight, the arms straight by the sides. Now the full version is to lift the legs off the floor straight and lift the chest and the chin. So kind of like this. I like to lift my arms as well, a little bit of Pilates, and then lowering down. Now that's pretty hard, especially if your core isn't that strong or your lower back is painful. So I recommend doing it with the knees bent. Then you can breathe out and you get the same benefit. You just lift your hips a little bit, lift the chin to the chest, and then inhale, release. So there's an option, okay? I'll do the full option just for the sake of it, but please start with the knees bent, don't hurt your back. So breathing in, fill up the torso. As you breathe out, fire up the leg muscles, lift the tailbone, and tuck the chin, draw the ribs to the hips. We'll do two more, inhaling. Fill up the belly. Now try and move smoothly with control. Inhaling. And then exhaling. And then inhale, come down and just relax. If you need to, you can always reset by doing a little bridge pose, but actually the last right that I'm going to show you, which I think is the fourth one, is going to be the one that's going to help you reset anyway. So I like rolling up to seated, but if you have a bad back, you can come to one side, push yourself up to seated. So this one is, I think it's the fourth one, yeah, it's the fourth one. We start in Dandasana. So this one, the hands are next to the hips and the legs are straight. You're not going to move your hands or your feet, or your heels, I should say, as you come into tabletop. Well, I like to call this reverse tabletop anyway. So you're going to push down through the feet, bend the knees, lift up as you breathe in. It's just like reverse tabletop. Let the head drop back if it wants to. Ask your neck, and then you come back to Dandasana as you exhale. Two more. Inhaling. Repeating the mantra. You can sing it out loud if you like. One more, big breath in, and then a nice slow exhale, coming back to Dandasana. And then if you felt any of these exercises in your wrists, give your wrists a little stretch out. So at the end of this, quite nice to just have a little meditation, and you can find lots of mantras on Spotify or just on YouTube, to be honest. So have a little look. Om Mani Padme Hum is an excellent mantra to practice. It really, really is nice, and the meaning behind it is really quite a nice thing to focus the mind on. So gratitude, compassion, kindness. So thank you for joining me. I really hope you enjoyed this little video. If you would like to see more or do the whole practice with me as an hour-long class, just join my website, which is in the description below. And of course, like and subscribe to the channel, because I'll keep trying to put as much free content out as I possibly can. And thank you again for joining me.